Next question, we'll try to incorporate everybody in it. In your opinion, what are the top 2 or 1 common misconceptions about your division?
Julie and I spoke about this. I think the biggest one for us is that we have 14 scholarships every year. We don't have 14 scholarships every year. We have to have a total of 14 scholarships altogether in that way. And I think the other one is that everyone's committing as freshmen. I think with all the people on the panel here, I think to find out there's a place for everyone to play, and everyone commits on their own timetable. And I think that's important for you to know. You have to feel comfortable, you parents have to feel comfortable with the decision you make. And I think Janet, obviously said that the evaluation process and the communication between the coaches and the players are becoming a lot earlier, but still some players are deciding to commit or make decisions later. And I think for different divisions, that also is a major case there. For us, everyone thinks that the evaluation process is just for the coaches evaluating you, but I truly think the major part of it is that there's 2 parts of the evaluation. You evaluating the school and the school evaluating you. And so I encourage players a lot to go and watch college games and sit there and watch a game and go, you know what, I'm better than number 15, I can play there. Or you go like, ooh, they're so good, I can't play there. Because what happens sometimes is that you go into a school really not knowing much about the program, and I think if what the coach is telling you, for example, I think you can compete for starting time right away or compete for playing time, and you feel the same way the coach does, and I think you've got a good situation going. But if you walk into a situation where the coach says, I think it's going to be hard for you to compete on this team, and you think you're going to start right away, then there's a little gap in the communication and what they're saying. And so I think it's really important for you to go and see the school, spend some time watching them train, watching them play, to have an idea. And if you have a specific position that you're playing, you should look at that position. And I think it's really important to be able to go, I can play as fast as that number 7, or I think in 2 years when I'm a senior that's going to be a position for me. So I think it's 2 parts to the evaluation process.
At Division III, I think 2 common misconceptions is one is floor building, and the other one is the level composition. And I ran into that a lot. I think that especially in this area right here, for the people in the crowd that are from the types of high schools that you are, successful club programs, successful high school programs, that Division III is going to be a step down, and I'm going to be lowering my skill level to play there. It's at every level there are your elite programs, and certainly North Carolina, Notre Dame, different schools, and the people that are up here at the Division I level are all very successful programs. And then there's others that there's no way that those Division I programs are going to be able to compete with that same level as Janet or Paula or so at every level there is that issue. There's a competitive level that you are able to perform at in Division I, and maybe it's not at the high level, maybe it's not at the bottom level, maybe it's in the middle level, and that's true for each division. Then interdivision comparisons, I think that's true as well. In my 26 years, we've had competition against Division I and Division II programs, and we've been very successful. So for us, at the Division III level, we're the kind of team that's going to be in the hunt for the national championship, that kind of thing. We can compete pretty strongly against some higher level programs. So I think what Paula said is absolutely true. And see with your own eyes and think, well, maybe that is a level that I can play at, or I don't want to waste my time here, I better be looking at a higher level. I would invite you to go out and see some Division III games as well because of that. So I fight that all the time, and I fight it mostly in the Chicagoland area because it's such a strong resource for women's and men's soccer. But yet on my roster, girls come from coast to coast. And I have girls that are from high school teams that have won national championships, including one right here at Waubonsie Valley, and then I have girls from California that have won national championships and back-to-back state championships and things like that. And The thing is, they know about Aurora University nationally, but then locally, it is something that gets looked beyond, I think, because there's this stigma attached that it's D3. So I think that's the biggest misconception. Along with that is affordability. I think that people think, well, it's a private school. Private schools are expensive. It's going to be difficult for me to achieve a level of affordability there unless there's athletic scholarship money attached with that. And the reality is, you know, most Division III programs have a generous application of their funds if you are a strong academic student. And the emphasis is on the student and the student-athlete part. And if you can be accomplished in that area, then I think you'll find out these schools are going to be very generous, and you may be surprised at how affordable it ends up in the long run. So I would say those two things are the things I run into the most, that it's not the competition level I'm looking for, and I'm not going to be able to afford it.
Are you going to do D2?
I thought Jason trying to get this to open. There we go. I would agree with Knut quite a bit, and I guess we're the bastard child of athletics at the NJCAA level. Everyone looks at us as being, well, you know, if I can always use that as a fallback school. If everything goes wrong, if my grades go bad, we can always go there. We've had a number of kids that have actually played here at this school that's gone on to play with us over the last couple years. The worst we've finished in the nation is 6th in the 6 years that I've been there. We've never lost a conference championship. We fly all over the country to play. Affordability, I can guarantee you, unless you get a full scholarship, you will not beat the price of your local community college. Whether you're here at this school or a little farther out of Waubonsee, $129 per credit. Some of us sitting at the table are over $1,000 per credit. So, just so you know that if money is an issue going to college, which, you know, in these times isn't that big of a deal, I can guarantee you that any of the local community colleges are a great choice. The nice thing about the NJCAA is they're also a Division I, which gives scholarships, and a Division III that does not. Don't let that fool you in that Division I junior college are better than Division III junior colleges in the area. Okay? It all comes down to how hard these coaches are up here in this podium that are working. And to go back to the recruiting thing, a good friend of mine who coaches basketball said that recruiting was like shaving. If you don't do it every day, you look like crap. So you have to get out, and we have to see all these games to see you play.
Okay, NAIA. Misconceptions, is that what you said, Julie? Yeah. I can probably write a book on that. NAIA is its own division, its own network, its own national championship. Most players that I've come in contact with have no idea what the NAIA is. They assume it's a lower level end academically and athletically. I've been able to work with great players, and in the 2 years that I've been at St. Francis and be able to watch games and work with players, there are Division I, II, III, JUCO, internationals. Every player that you can imagine plays in the NAIA. It's one of the biggest misconceptions, again, that you go D1, D2, the levels of play does not tell you how good programs are. And here, you know, Aurora's been a great D3 school. Wheaton's been a great D3 school. You know, we can go on and on with the great colleges that are in this area and the great players that come out of those colleges. The misconceptions is that when I look at schools, you know, what am I actually going to look at? And when you start this process, you should have a list of no less than 20 schools. Now, how do you determine where? You're going to have to go watch games. That's one of the things, you know, most players and parents don't do is they go out and watch games, they just play the sport. In NAIA, we offer academic money and we offer scholarships. There are teams in NAIA that are totally made up of international players. Their whole rosters are 22 international players. Their bottom 8 are the U.S. players. That's how bad they want to win national championships. You have that at levels at the D1 level too, where, you know, all it's about is winning. Your coaches up here are much better than that. They understand, you know, that we're coaches of student athletes. And I know every coach at this table believes firmly in that. At St. Francis, I'm rebuilding a program there. And it couldn't be any lower than when I took it over. So I had to look at all those misconceptions of what people and what players perceived it, and I have to get them to believe in the university and what it promotes. As far as when I watch other teams play, and in my conference, trust me, I wish some of those players went and played D1. You know, they're that good. You have a lot of international, national team players that come and play NAIA. So it's very competitive. It's a great network. There are, and I would suggest, you know, when you look at recruiting, that you really have to educate yourself, and you have to talk to the coaches. You have to talk to students that have gone there, and really understand what that university is about. And every university has its own niche, and there's a lot of great opportunities. So if you do believe something and you don't know if it's true or not, email a coach and find out. You know, educate yourselves.
I'm in Division II at the University of Illinois Springfield, and I just wanted to make it clear, I put a sheet of information out, and I noticed it's not on both sides clearly marked Division II, so I just want to make sure if you picked up this white sheet, these rules are for Division II. We mirror Division I pretty much, so there's a few rules that are different. For example, we can have a one-time tryout on campus if you came to our campus. We're allowed to feed you on an unofficial visit one time. So the rules are a little bit different, but not drastically different between Division II and Division I. We can offer academic and athletic scholarships, but pretty much it's most of what you've heard about what Division I is.